YouTube, what is going on? It's De Niro's Hot 23. I'm back with another video, man. Before we get into the video, YouTube, I need you to hit the like, comment, and subscribe button. Turn on that post notification bell while you at it, man. Today we back with a true crime story. We got the sweet student who was viciously killed by her boyfriend and best friend for an affair. Let's get straight into it.
Baby, I love you, baby. Just come home, baby. You know, come home. I love you. Just come home. I'm not gonna leave until you get home.
I just want to say to the city of Atlanta, can you just please help me find my baby sister? And Alexis, we love you.
In just a few days, Alexis lost her best friend, suffered indescribable things at the hands of her friend's boyfriend, and then lost her life as she got blamed for it. To say it's unfair is to put it mildly. The way she was found is a painful reminder of the people she chose to trust, people she called friends. This is the full story of Alexis Crawford.
Let's see, bro. I ain't heard of this one.
Today's story takes us to Atlanta, Georgia, a big city known for its rich history and southern hospitality. Atlanta is also a city of contrasts. While it's in broad terms a safe place to live with lots of opportunities for careers and higher education, some areas are known for horrific crimes. As per 11 Alive, Atlanta's crime rate is now worse than Chicago's, with a murder rate of 17 per 100,000, and aggravated assault 386 per 100,000. But these were not numbers that troubled Alexis Crawford in any way. She was a 21-year-old senior at Clark Atlanta University. She was on her way to becoming a criminologist. Indeed, Alexis's greatest passion was justice, and seeing that good people live good, safe lives. This makes her story even more heartbreaking. In the last days of October 2019, Alexis's family became worried. She lived apart from them at her college campus, but she would always be chatting with her sister, brother, or mother. It was unlike her to go AWOL for even a few hours, let alone a couple of days.
It's amazing. Papaya Global's workforce payments platform practically runs itself.
So the Crawfords contacted authorities and reported their beloved missing on November 1st. They also took to the media, pleading for the public to call with any relevant information.
Baby, I love you, baby. Just come home, baby. You know, just come home. I love you. Just come home. I'm not gonna leave until you get home.
I just want to say to the city of Atlanta, can you just please help me find my baby sister? And Alexis, we love you. If you out there, you're looking at this, give us a call. We right here with you, okay?
Alexis's sister was one of her best friends, and she also spoke that day.
I just want to say this is like a very hard time for our family. And if Lexi, she's watching, I just want you to know you've always been my role model. You're my strength, my aspirations in life. And I just want you to come home and be safe. And I hope God's walking with you. And
like, you can go up there and say all this shit, and the whole time the person
please prevent any evil that comes her way. And we're here for
it's
you.
A way for them to come back. And
I love you, Alexis. I miss you.
With her statement, the true impact of Alexis's disappearance on her family became clear. Her loved ones were devastated and desperate to learn what had happened to their little girl.
She's a beautiful girl. She's a beautiful, fun-loving little girl. She loved her sisters and she loved her brothers.
A week later, Alexis's body was found, wrapped in a trash bag, dumped in a park in DeKalb County. Imagine having to break the news to the family.
DeKalb. She said DeKalb County.
Alexis's death caused huge waves across Atlanta and her university community. Needless to say, hearing the news made students feel unsafe and scared for their lives. Her family was lost for words. They couldn't fathom why someone would want Alexis gone. She led a kind, modest life. She was never into dangerous kinds of fun, and she never made any enemies. None of this made any sense, and yet the detectives wanted answers. The first place they searched was Alexis's temporary home, her dorm room at Heritage Station. While the forensics team didn't find anything worthy of collecting, the detectives did find two people to talk to. Alexis Alexis's roommate, Jordan Jones, and her boyfriend, Barron Brantley. 27-year-old Barron didn't live with them, but he visited often. When the detectives spoke to the two, they didn't seem to have a rehearsed story. In fact, they hadn't really settled on what to tell authorities if they came knocking. Initially, this left a good impression. If two suspects tell the exact same story word for word, it sounds a bit fabricated. These two seemed honest. But detectives were wise enough to interview them on numerous occasions. And as days passed, they realized that Jordan and Barron's stories did not quite add up. Both Jordan and Barron kept mentioning the same thing, a Halloween party gone wrong. That night, Barron visited Jordan and Alexis at their flat, and the three of them drank through the night. At one point, Barron and Alexis locked themselves into the bathroom, at least according to Jordan. That day, Jordan broke off her friendship with her supposed cheating friend. A few days later, she disappeared. Barron, on the other hand, claimed that he had drunk so much that he confused Alexis with Jordan. Somehow, he kept confusing her all the way into the bathroom. But just like Jordan, he claimed he didn't have anything to do with Alexis's disappearance. After several interrogations, however, the story changed for the darker. On October 26, 2019, Alexis, Jordan, and Barron gathered at the girls' flat for an evening of simple fun. After several drinks, however, Barron started touching Alexis's arm and flirting with her. Alexis asked him what he was doing, and he said, "Oh, I thought you were Jordan." Right. Minutes later, Alexis got up from the sofa and went to the bathroom. Creepily enough, Barron followed. Sadly, the scenario is as dark as you think it is. Barron forced himself onto Alexis, and the event was so traumatic for her that she blacked out. She woke up the next day sober and feeling like something was very wrong. This was not the sober kind of wrong, a headache and the like. This was the feeling that something awful had happened, and she wasn't able to say no. So Alexis ran to the nearest hospital and asked for an SA kit. Her hunches were right. Barron was the worst kind of human being. The detectives had a clear account of this event from the hospital staff. In fact, on October 27th, Alexis had even gone to the authorities and reported the SA, so there was a record of that too. But from Jordan, the detectives had heard a whole other story. Jordan said that when Barron locked himself in the bathroom with Alexis, she knocked on the door. At some point, Barron opened the door, shirtless. But when Jordan confronted him about it, he said nothing happened. Alexis, however, had something else to say to Jordan. You see, Alexis trusted Jordan with her life. They had met during their freshman year, and they had been inseparable ever since. Alexis would invite Jordan to her family home during all the holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, or her and her relatives' birthdays. Soon enough, Jordan felt like family herself. Even Alexis's mother treated Jordan like her own daughter. The same could not be said about Jordan's boyfriend, Barron. Even on Instagram, his account name was Bad News Barron. He portrayed himself as a bad boy, and he behaved so as to prove that. However, when Alexis told Jordan what her boyfriend had done to her, Jordan chose to side with him. Not only did she not believe Alexis, but she accused her of cheating. In her eyes, she was no longer her best friend. Imagine going through something as traumatic as SA and losing your best friend in 24 hours. Alexis felt like she had no support and nowhere to go. Jordan lived right there with her, and her evil boyfriend would visit almost daily. How could she go on?
And disturbing new details tonight about the murder of a local college student. Alexis Crawford was a senior at Clark Atlanta University who was scheduled to graduate this school year. Tonight, we know now what led to her murder, allegedly at the hands of her own roommate and her roommate's boyfriend.
After interrogating the young couple repeatedly and putting some pressure on them with accumulating evidence, the full story emerged. After 3 days of not talking to each other, Jordan and Alexis got into a fight. According to Barron, words turned to fists, and when it got physical, he joined in as well.
Documents released by Fulton County Superior Court begin to answer the question of how Clark Atlanta University student Alexis Crawford was killed.
Before long, both Jordan and Barron were hitting Alexis with a trash bag.
An arrest warrant for Brantley indicated he got involved in the fight and, according to police, choked the victim with his hands until she was deceased. The warrant for Jones's arrest says she smacked the victim with a black trash bag until Crawford stopped breathing.
To think Alexis thought of this woman
Come
as
on.
her best friend.
The fuck,
What followed
bro? That
was
shit's
just as
sick.
gruesome. Together, Barron and Jordan simply shoved Alexis's lifeless body inside the trash bag and drove her to Exchange Park in Decatur, Georgia. They simply dumped her in a shady spot as if she was garbage. In Jordan's mind, this was fine. She had slept with her boyfriend. She had to pay. Except, Alexis had told Jordan the heartbreaking truth. She had a confirmed SA kit and an official report to show her friend. And yet Jordan didn't believe her. She didn't want to believe her. Perhaps it was easier to remove Alexis from the picture than her scary boyfriend. But let's not find excuses for Jordan. Both she and Barron did the worst thing imaginable. And Alexis's family will have to live with this forever. Alexis trusted a monster. On November 8th, Barron Brantley confessed to taking Alexis's life. The following day, his girlfriend was also arrested and charged with first-degree murder. Atlanta Police Chief Erica Shields shared the tough piece of news to the public.
The case has come to one of the saddest conclusions possible and has been absolutely heartbreaking.
Jordan and Barron's trials would be pretty straightforward considering that both of them had confessed.
To Alexis, Miss Crawford, and while he was shooting Miss Crawford, Jordan Jones put a plastic bag over her head.
However, Jordan couldn't tell the jury why exactly she chose to end her friend's life.
Right.
I'm not sure if this is y'all's first true crime case, and if you've seen your fair share of young couples claiming to kill for love, you probably know how this goes on. As soon as they were charged, Jordan and Barron turned against each other. Suddenly, they were not in love anymore. Now they were testifying against each other in the hope of a lighter sentence.
Oh,
this only goes to show
okay.
how
So now you-
senseless and
okay.
tragic
You want to do
Alexis's
this
death
shit
was.
together, but when
During
you
their
get in court,
trials,
you
both
against each
Jordan
other.
and Barron tried to make
Okay.
it sound like they were forced into the conflict by the other one, and that they were not responsible for taking Alexis's life. Of course, they also denied the horrific SA, even though it was confirmed through DNA.
Alexis Crawford had accused Barron Brantley of sexually assaulting her just 4 days before she was killed. His DNA was found in the kit, even though Jordan Jones, his girlfriend and Crawford's roommate, told Crawford's parents that it wasn't.
Something else was revealed during the trial. Shockingly, after Alexis went to the hospital that fateful morning, Jordan snuck her boyfriend back into the apartment. He hid in Jordan's room until the evening of October 30th, when it all went down in the most horrific way. Not only did Alexis feel unsupported and scared for her life, but her attacker was right there in the same apartment with her. Alexis's best friend turned into her worst enemy
it. I
in a
ain't
matter
gonna
of
lie.
days.
Fuck her, bro.
Jordan Jones put a plastic bag over her head.
Barron had also cleaned Alexis's blood from the apartment. This is why the forensics team did not find anything at the scene, at least initially. During a second inspection, detectives searched through the apartment with luminoil and uncovered the dark truth. As you can imagine, this only added charges to Barron's record. And if the story isn't horrible enough, learn that after unaliving Alexis, Jordan and Barron took a nap, and then they went to a Halloween party. Both Jordan and Barron were
fuck?
charged with homicide and did
Yeah,
not
these folks
Both of them
crazy
tried to
as
obtain
hell.
bond, but their appeals were dismissed. Throughout his hearings,
How the fuck can
Barron
you
showed
party after
no
killing some
emotion.
unaliving
Barron
somebody?
and Jordan are yet to receive a verdict. But even as they pleaded not guilty, most people expect them to be found guilty and sentenced to life behind bars. Meanwhile, Alexis's family is holding vigils and trying to stay strong during this still shocking time. Grieving is tough as it is, but when you know your loved one went in such a brutal, senseless way, it's even harder to
Folks would
process.
do any
Alexis's
damn
dad had this to say to the wider public.
Hold on to your kids. Love them. Talk to them. Appreciate them and listen to them. Don't stop listening to your kids.
The family is even more devastated at the thought of one of Alexis's killers being someone she claimed was a best friend. Someone who came to their home, ate with them, and celebrated the most beloved holidays together with them. In one of
She oughta be
Jordan's pleas to
ashamed.
get a bond, her defense team argued that she had almost no criminal record, bar a misdemeanor charge, and that she was a kind friend and an active member of her community. However, the prosecution found direct messages between Jordan and Barron, where she encouraged him to destroy surveillance footage from the apartment. She was in on it just as much as him.
Okay.
Reportedly, Jordan was also on probation for DUI at the time. During the hearing, Alexis's parents also spoke against the bond. Jordan was perhaps thankfully denied bond. We have yet to see how many years she and Barron will spend behind bars, but with compelling evidence against both and full confessions, it's hard to see why they would be released anytime soon. Meanwhile, Alexis's family can only try to accept reality and attempt to move on from something that will haunt them forever. No one should lose their lives in this way. No one should be betrayed by their best friend the way Alexis was. Thanks for watching, you guys. Let me know your thoughts on this case in a comment. Do you know of
Bro, oh my God, bro, that shit is just sad, bro. Like, I don't even really want to speak on it too much, but just know, bro, them folks should be ashamed they down. So if you're gonna do that girl like that because of what? Then, man, shit. Oh man, you too, bro. If you rocking with the channel, go ahead and leave me a like, comment, subscribe, man. Catch me on the next one.